Hello ladies and gentlemen, we're here in Wild Tents again, where I haven't got a replay for you this time. I've instead got my garage where I've unlocked the Tier 10 British non-turreted TD, or kind of, because this does have a turret, the FE215B183, as I've power grinded to it for the last couple of months, because I heard there was rumours of them removing it. But I always wanted a Death Star, so I grinded myself towards it and finally got it fairly to the other day, actually fairly recent. I hadn't even played battling yet, I got it so recent. But I wanted to make this video because the line is fucking horrendous. One of the worst, it's the worst line in the game, definitely. I'm going to say that now. Worst line in the game by far. Let's look at the tech tree and we'll see. Not that country. We'll see on this. We start off with the medium one, the UC 2-pounder, the Valentine 80, the Electo, the 82, the 88, the 87, the 8015, the Tortoise, and then the 183, also known as the Death Star. Right, let's talk through the line. So I'm going to do tier 1 to 4, and then talk about the rest separately, because who cares about tier 1 to 4? And literally last time I played these was probably like 4 years ago. So we got the medium one, no one cares because it's not a 2D. Then we got the Universal Carrier 2-pounder. I actually know someone who drove one of these in the war, so you know, family heritage there. But no one really cares. I mean, it's just a tier 2. Then there's a tier 3, which has an ammo rack on the side, as you can see here. Okay-ish choice of guns, and then it's got a 3-point howitzer, just so much better. Just a dirt gun. You get the Electo, which is fairly fast at doing 50 kilometers an hour forwards. It's got a 3.7 howitzer, which is, you know, really good. I don't think I ever played with this gun. I don't think this gun was even here when I played it. It probably was, but I don't remember it. I just put the 3.7-inch howitzer on and then ran around like a lemon the entire game. Is what I played how I played the Electo, and it seemed to work out well. It was a really fun game. It was a really fun tent. This. It's really tiny. It has got ammo racks on the side, but it's a smallish, like an E25. Might be a bit smaller. I have no idea. Anyway, we come to the meat of this line. The 82. Right. So for its tier, it's tier 5. It has amazing armour. It's got armour. How much armour has it got? 203, that's it. I'm an idiot. All these tanks have fucking 203mm of armour. So, the 82 has 203mm of armour on the front. It is a bit flat though, but if you get in a tier 5 game only, nothing's penning it unless they fire complete gold. So enjoy being spammed with gold when this is how it starts. The 6-pounder, it gets a choice of 2. They've got really low pen, so you might have to spam gold ammo if you ever use a 6-pounder. I didn't. I just slabbed the howitzer on, which you can just spam HE at everyone, get damage, consistent damage every time, no matter who you're facing. It's probably the best bet these days because of all the super heavies roaming around, lowish tiers. So yeah, put the howitzer on, just don't derp around. Is the best bet in the 82. It's really bloody slow. Goes 20 kilometers an hour forwards, which is the same as all the rest of these bloody tents up until I want to say tier 9, 10. Probably tier 10. It's not bad traverse, not bad view range. It's got a massive cupola if you didn't notice it. This is just cheese. This cupola here is just cheese. It's huge, although it's not as huge I think as the next tent. Moving up to tier 6, we have the 88. This tent brings a lot of its qualities from the 82 and a lot of bad ones as well. So we have an interesting choice of guns. We've got 6-pounder, 75mm, 77mm, and then 17-pounder. You want to aim for the 17-pounder, so it's just better than all the rest guns. Like most tents in this game, they don't really have a choice of guns that matter. So 17-pounder is much better. Engines, who cares? It still does 20, so you're not really going any faster. You still going to do 20, although it might accelerate faster. So that's a good choice for the engine there. And then tracks is, you know, just the normal. So what I'd recommend, just don't get the gun and then charge to the 87. Just take anything else you need on the way. If you think you need more engine power, get some engines, you know. The same old, same old. What about the tent though? The tent has high HP for its tier. This is a really tiny gun. This is the 6-pounder. There's a 17-pounder. Kind of underwhelming. The gun is when it's a 17-pounder. So you know. But the tank's kind of underwhelming as well. It has 203mm of armour at the front, which still saves it sometimes. But it's a tier higher. It has the same armour as the 82. Except this armour is more flat to the 82. And that is a weakness in my book. There's a tier higher with basically less armour, because it's not the same armour as the tier 5, but flat. So, you know, it's not really going to save you here. You don't rely on it on this tier, but it can save you a couple of times depending on what guns are shooting back at you. Anyway, it's not really bad view range. The grind is pretty bad. I mean, the guns are... You have to grind through a couple of guns, and the XP to grind those guns is pretty bad, especially when you start off with a 6-pounder. Oh, I can't imagine people starting off with this gun. Where is it? The 75 pen 110 damage gun. How awful is that shit? Got good-ish camo. Armour is flat pretty much everywhere. I mean, top is flat, side is flat, rear is flat, front is flat. That's really bad. So it's only got 203. However, better than the Tiger 1. Always pros somewhere. Low alpha. It's only 150 a shot on the 17-pounder. I think. Yes, it is. The gun arc is really bad. It only does like that. Bad view range, it's really slow, it's a massive target for artillery. Ah, there you go. But anyway, you're low to the ground as well. So, and if you find enemies like, you know, those Japanese heavy tanks, they can just shoot your roof and pen you really quite easily. And to add insult to injury, you have a massive fucking cupola. Look at the size of that thing. It's a massive cupola. You have really bad armour, and then you have a massive cupola. I say really bad armour. It's kind of good, but it's all flat. So, you know, I've had bad experiences with the 88. Not as bad as the 87. Hello, and welcome to the 87. It just gets worse. Right. Guns. You can put on a 6-pounder with an autoloader. That's always a pro. It has 10 shells and then 12 seconds for full reload, but it does 110 pen at tier 7. You know, with Onis and shit like that. So you if you put an autoloader on this, you definitely want full premium. Although I wouldn't advise it; it's really bad. Anyway, you just surprise people with this gun. You got a 20-pound on this Type A barrel. It does cost 16,000 XP to research, so you will be sat with the 17-pounder for a long time. It still does 20, so engines really don't matter unless you probably have the top by now. Put the tracks on probably to mount the 20-pounder. I'm not entirely sure. Let's have a look. If that's the case, yep, you need the tracks to put the 20-pounder on. There you go. Other than that, engine and the radio is a very fucking bad tank, this, because it's flat armour, although a bit sloped in some places, and it's the same armour as the tier below it and the tier below it. So we're 2 tiers up from tier 5, and it has the same 203mm of flat armour on the front. I don't even think the sloped armour here is 203, I think it's lower than that. But the flat armour is all 203, and you're at tier 7 now. Tier 7, and in today's meta of premium ammo is flying around everywhere, this tank is completely irrelevant. Because the gun arc is awful, again. It has a massive really high HP. Where is it? I can't even find it. 1.2k HP, with 1.2 and 50. The grind's not that bad. I mean, it's only a 16k XP grind for the gun, and then you're pretty much set for this tent to grind to the next tent. Because the gun does 230 and it has pretty high pen for tier 7, so it's really, the gun's pretty good. Sniping in this tent is not that bad and pretty advisable. Top gun is quick aiming and all that. It's got goodish pen for tier 7. Goodish. 226. Yeah, I'd say it's goodish. You can definitely pen yourself, although I still aim for the massive bloody weak spot on this tent. It's huge. Why the fuck do these tents have the same armour as tier 5 and then a massive cupola? I honestly, I have no idea. These tents, literally, like back in the day, they were good-ish for what a non-turreted TD could be. But these days, they're so bad. But we haven't even got to the worst tent in this line yet. Anyway, it's slowed, massive target variety. Enemies can hit your roof, like the Japanese heavies can just pen your roof really easily. Same armour as 82. I'm just reading this from a list here. I've got gun art's awful. It's like okayish alpha, 230 for the tier, and the massive component weak spot makes this tent like quite shit. Anyway, let's move on to the worst tent in this line. And here we have the 8015, my most hated tent in this whole bloody game. It's honestly so bad, in my opinion. Well, I don't know. If you can make this tent work, you're a god. But holy shit, this tent is so unbelievably broken. It's just... If you are at the 87 and you are trying to get to the 8015, stop. Stop what you're doing, wait until they buff it, and then maybe play it. Because this tent will kill you. It just kills your morale. I started at the 87 this grind, yeah? So then I jumped into the 8015, like, I couldn't even think of the tier 8 British TD off the top of my head. Because no one used to play it before they announced they were going to take away the Death Star. So everyone jumped on the grinds to grind for a Death Star. No one ever played this shit. Do you know why? Because it's so really bad. It's... Oh, you have no idea how many takes I have recorded with this. Well, I have just literally lost it and gone mental talking about how shit this tent is. Anyway, let's talk about the stats of this tent. Right, to start off with, good selection of guns. Well, I mean, if you're ever this is the highest tip I can ever give to this tent. If you're ever grinding this tent, don't get the Type B barrel. It's so bad. Like, let's compare it, right? The tier 8 barrel, the Type A barrel, and Type B barrel, right? You get 0.9 more rate of fire. You get nothing to do with the gun, like pen or damage. You get 0.1 better dispersion, 0.2 better aiming time, and it's a bit heavier. Right? So how much do you think this gun costs in XP wise? Considering the Tortoise is 161,000 XP, how much do you think the £20 gun, which gives you like 0.4 of a difference in stats total? I'll tell you how much it is. It's 45,000 XP. 45,000 XP for a couple of points in your in difference. I thought there was some hidden stats that you could they could make it better, but no, it's the same bloody gun. It's just a little bit better. It's not like when I got the Carnarvon and got a Type B barrel. It's like, was the Type B barrel on the Carnarvon? Probably, and it was like better in that every way. But this tent, don't ever get it. Just don't. It's so it's just a waste of 45,000 XP. So you're still doing miss shots. You still hitting for the same alpha. You still hitting for the same pen. It's unbelievable how much this gun is. The XP. Anyway, let's talk about something else. HP, massive HP pool. You're gonna need it because this tent has literally no armor. I mean, I get penned by everything from the front. Everything from the front. Right, so the gun's in the middle, so you can't use any of your 87 or 88 tricks where you hide the component around the corner and just shoot stuff. It's got a massive gun arc, which gets you accustomed to what the Tortoise is like. So it's like here to here. It's a massive gun arc. The gun shield is a joke. Anything can pen you through here. This is a weak spot. This is a weak spot. The only way you do good in this is if someone parts in front of you and aims for a weak spot. If someone parts in front of you, doesn't realise they can just pen you straight through the front and shit. I got penned through here, here. My weak spot always gets penned. This gets penned. These slopes get penned all the time. Straight through the gun mantler gets penned by tier 8s and tier 7s. The only way this does well is if someone parts in front of you and doesn't focus you. If someone parts in front of your face and you can use the amazing DPM, this is a DPM monster. If you can just whittle down their health with your guns, which do 230 damage a shot and like reload really fast, you can do good in this tent. However, it doesn't happen like that. If you're semi-decent in this game and someone's got XVM and they sit in front of you and they see you're semi-decent, they're going to focus you. So this tent becomes really irrelevant. Also, it's kind of tall, but not that tall, and it has this slip of armour here, which they can still pen you. This tent is just a joke. Right, let's go through my list of a list that goes off my screen on the side here. HP pool is pretty high. You'll probably need it. So the amount of punishment this tank's going to take. The tank's still horrendous when it's fully upgraded. It's the second worst AP pen of the tier, only worse to the Rheinmetall Borsig with the big gun firing AP. It's 226 pen on the gun. So unbelievably terrible. Moving on. Worst alpha damage of any tier 8 TD. The worst alpha is a TD, Tank Destroyer. The only good thing is the DPM, and DPM in this meta doesn't matter. You could have the highest DPM of all. If I come around the corner in a what's a tier 8 tank, and Rheinmetall Borsig with a big gun, and I shoot you and I pen you and I do what? Well, how much did I do? 750, and you hit me back and you do 230, and I go around the corner again. Your DPM doesn't matter. It's all about alpha and taking shots and trading in this meta. In the entire game, really. It's honestly, DPM. When I see people like going mad about, oh my god, this has huge DPM, it doesn't matter. In a practical sense, the only time you'll ever use it is if you're sniping from the back and you can snipe consistently, hit your shots, which this tank can't do. Moving on. The armour, it's a tiny upgrade from the last tank. It's somewhat flattish, but it doesn't matter because they can pen you through the gun mantlet. Ugh, this tank, unbelievably bad. It's huge. It's a really bad camo. The ammo rack is on the side, so you know if you have your side to someone, it can ammo rack you. Weak all round armour. The front armour's crap, 228. The side armour's 152, and it's all flat. And the rear armour is a hefty 100mm of armour, you know, Tiger levels. You know how well that works. A tier lower. It goes slow, it's 20 kilometers frontal, it goes 20 kilometers. I really butchered that sentence, but oh my god. The gun art's really good, gun manning is actually a weak spot, Capo's a weak spot, the flat gun port is a weak spot, the sloped armour is around 100, right, so this sloped armour is like 100 to 130mm. Good gun depression, I think it's like, what does it say on here? It does, -10 to the front, which is really good. But don't you ever use it, because if you come over a hill they can still snipe your weak spots because you're really tall. Bad traverse, easy type for artillery, and it's got a fucking stupidly high repair cost. It's the highest repair cost of any tier 8. Why? I've no fucking clue. Why does this have the highest repair cost? You will never honestly make money in this. Especially if you use one premium shell. If you fire one premium shell in the day, you've lost money. Because premium shells are expensive, and it's not the highest repair cost of any tier 8 or any tier 8. You'll never make credits. You'll rarely make credits on a good game. If you do like what 4k damage at least, you'll make a bit of credits. Unbelievable this tank. Anyway, moving on to tier 9. Moving up to tier 9, we have the Tortoise. Now, it's my most recent played TD in this line, and it's okay-ish. The armour is not worth a damn. The gun, however, is. Let's preview it and find out what I mean. Oh fuck, I just have to go garage. It's in my garage. There you go. Tortoise, right. From the front you can see it has weak spots. Fucking covering it. Why? Who knows? I mean, you can still bounce shots. It is kind of okay at bouncing shots. Because of this sloped armour and this bit of armour here and the dump man that's impenetrable. But these weak spots are so fucking awful. And the roof that's sloped down, people can pen you there, people can pen you this massive cupola, this is a weak spot as well. This is a massive weak spot. But hopefully in the buff, they're probably going to take them out. Because that's what Wargaming does these days, is take out frontal weak spots. Oh jeez, that's another episode, that's another video. Anyway, the Tortoise. The gun is great. Such a high DPM. I have talked about how DPM doesn't really matter. It doesn't, but your gun hits a 400 now. You're up there. You hit by basically the Super Conqueror and the 215B. You hit for 400. You're up with medium tents that hit for 400. It's an okay-ish gun. To like the damage is okay-ish. The pen is 259, which will let you down quite a lot of times. It's not as high as other, you know, TDs. Well, I've got a gun rammer, some carried optics because the view lens is shit, and some enhanced coil springs because I didn't want to buy the tracks. Because I was power grinding for the 183. I eventually only played this tank for like 98 games. I got a gun mutt as well, which is surprising in 98 games. Anyway, what about this tank? It does 20 forwards. The gun's really good, except sometimes you will get games where it just can't hit anything and misses all the time. But you will get games where it hits all the time and it does an amazing amount of work. I've actually got a tortoise game. We'll talk about the tortoise more in this game. Here we have one of my best games in the tortoise on the map Tundra. Now the biggest tip I can give in the tortoise is to go somewhere unexpected where the enemies won't think to expect a tortoise to be there. Like on this map, where I discovered that there is a spot. I tend to go there in my light tents, or tents that I can't figure out where to go if I can't go hill. Like the British TDs, I've discovered this spot with the British TDs because you can't go hill because you're really slow. You can't go to the other spot because you're really slow. So this is like a mediocre position for a TD to go if you're too slow to go anywhere else, because you can shoot straight over to the middle. Anyone pushing, like this guy who I caught out with his mate that he rolled over. I'm sure some people have experienced this before. So the 5041, I don't know, is trying to push the 1375, or 1390 actually, it's tier 9 game. So this 5041 has made the mistake of trying to aim at the tortoise with his amazing DPM. I've hit his track there, he's stuck in his position. Will I get the next shot off? I will indeed, and I've hit him in the rear armour. And that's how you do 1.5k damage in the first couple of minutes of the game in a tortoise. You go somewhere unexpected, they didn't expect me to be there, and then you do 1.5k damage. A bit lucky there, because the 1390 was flipped, and why did I choose to go for the 5041? Well, because he is the biggest threat. 1390 is upside down, so he'll die eventually. However, I could have put one shot into him to ensure that he would die eventually, and it'd be like my kill, but I put it into the 5041. Here we have, we'll see we're in an unexpected position. However, they probably know I'm here anyway, so you got 2 fires on this guy. It was a bit oblivious to the map. He didn't realise I was still here, maybe. I don't know, he just drove straight in front of a tortoise and expected to live. I don't understand. There's the 1390. I was thinking at this point that, oh, I should have shot the 1390 because he's going to go win the game now. Might not have been the case, we'll see later. Did get shot from the hill there. But I somehow bounced it. I've no idea. Literally no idea. This position has really good shots on the people crossing over here. I'm just glad that the enemy team decided to cross over here with like really on and they ignore tortoise. I mean, I probably am spotted here. I don't know because I don't know Sixth Sense. I never used Sixth Sense on my TD crew because I wanted a bit of view range, and that's if you have more view range and you spot things, it will give you more XP because you get more, you know, XP for spotting and shit, and getting spotting damage. I've got a scout medal in one of my AT tents. It's really weird. Anyway, we're trying to shoot this AMX down here, who's have a very abysmal game. Put 2 shots into that Chinese head. And then there's T41, finished him off with a shot across the map. This is one of those games where the tortoise gun is really strong and hitting every shot. Then we see a Chinese new TD is pushing across. He's going to take a shot at friendly and probably kill him. There he goes. But he's going to still ignore that the tortoise reload is really good. I would have expected a Chinese TD player because, you know, they're quite rare, and the only people that play Chinese TDs are kind of good people. Would know what a tortoise reload would be, and it would be like insane. But the only real time you get to use DPM to the fullest is when people either forget that it's a tortoise, don't know about the DPM, or have never fought a tortoise before. That's like the only time you ever catch people out and do amazing damage to them. So this game, the 5041 didn't seem to just sat in front of my gun. One was trying to aim, but then realised it was a tortoise, so he decided not to, and then drove off with his aim-exerting buddy. There was another tank, the WZ, which just sat there in front of a tortoise's gun. The Centurion sat there in front of a tortoise's gun. Just biggest tip if you're fighting against a tortoise: don't sit in front of his gun. Oh my god, like unbelievably the worst thing to do against the tortoise is sit in front of a gun and just let him kill you. Right, so we're coming to the end of the game here. There's a couple of tents that are mostly on the other flank because it was contested by a couple of our tents, but not as many so I'd kill everyone. So we're going to drive over there. I did come down the cliff because I wanted to get behind the WZ, but I looked on the map and he was going the other opposite direction, so I thought I'd push up and get a kill on him. Pushing up here, we didn't arrive in time to save our buddy, but now they'll be pushing around this corner, and because I have the recon skill and the coated optics, I can spot them. If you see my view range in the bottom right hand corner, you will be shocked to see my view range is that of some medium tents, and is literally the same size as my render range, so you know, somehow this is a thing, apparently. Take out the waffle there. I was tempted to fire Hesh at his gunman, but I decided not to because some of the times that Hesh has failed me. But Hesh on this tank is really good, I feel. E75 lower plate is the only place I'm going to pen this guy. Side armour is too much of a risk. Could pen, but it's too much of a risk. He's got the stock gun, I know, for the 320 damage. So I'm fine to push into this guy. Unless he gets around my side, I'm not, you know, going to take any hits. He does put a shot into my weak spot, which is also the place where the loader sits, unfortunately. Now we see the batch of artillery running away from our impending doom of our team, and we take him out. Well, we didn't take him out, we took a shot at him and he died. Well, back to the garage we go. And on to the tier 10, the mighty Deathstar. It's the F215B 183. This tank has a pretty high reputation. Back in the day, when it first got introduced, when I started playing the game, grinding those British tents and every other nation. Here's a pro tip: don't ever play this game and then grind every nation at once. You'd lose money. Because I'm now at tier 8 and I haven't got any money. Anyway, this tank has a mighty reputation for one shot in everything it meets. These days, it's a little off with the reputation. I mean, you can't exactly one shot everything you meet these days because of the nerfs it got to its Hesh ammo. But it's still up there. I have seen it recently one shot a T110E5, which is pretty funny on Fosh's stream, I think. Armour, it's okay-ish. I mean, if you're grinding towards this, you know what you're getting. Yeah, the turret is really good armour-wise. It's got the same armour as the 215B, which is pretty shit, to be honest. But anyway, this video's done long enough. I'm ZTech. If you like this video, please leave a like. If you didn't, leave a comment telling me why you think these tents are better than what I've described them as. And if you can do well in any of the tents I've talked about, you're better than me at least. Because these tents are just not my playstyle. I completely hated this line. The worst line in the game by far for me. Some of the worst tents in the game by far. If you think you have, or you know about, the worst tent line in this game, let me know in the comment section below, and maybe I'll play it, I'll grind it, and let you know how it feels next time. Anyway, more videos to come. I'm ZTech, and I'll see you next time.